anyone who blocks my path.
The blood that flows through her veins is special, and extremely dangerous. If showing pity would put my allies in danger, I will not hesitate to kill them.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Three Houses. Right as I was getting to the Saturday to explore the monastery on the Iron Man file, Felix wanted to talk to me, so sure.
You're certainly not going easy on me.
I mean, would you want anything else?
You fight like a mercenary. You may not be aware of it yourself, but I see it.
I missed the last thing you said. Oh wait, can I? You're hungry for victory, pure and simple. I mean, again, that's kind of the same way you are. The two of us are very eye to eye, aren't we?
Indeed.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Knights ought to have some hunger. I've always thought so.
Well, yeah, what's the point of competition if you're not trying to win?
They depend too much on their swords. Only when they're wrested away do knights consider their hands and feet as weapons. That's not how it was for warriors of old. They weren't limited by their tools.
That actually reminds me quite a bit of there was a period where the U.S. military got too reliant on missiles, and I guess that's actually the kind of premise of the Top Gun movie, but it was based on a real thing.
Victory is what matters, not the method of achieving it. That's the attitude to adopt. I detect that in your style. It is plain to see. You may take it however you like.
I was like, it sounds like praise to me.
I believe the difference between us lies within that hunger. But where does it come from?
I mean, what do you mean, where does hunger come from? It comes from the goddess!
I was aiming to win, yet I couldn't defeat you. Then I remembered something you said before. Indeed.
I was like, about your upbringing, I don't think I've ever talked about his upbringing to him.
I was raised to value strength above all else, whereas you had a reason, an ambition, pushing you toward that hunger. So tell me, what was the reason? Why were you driven to become so strong?
I mean, because I had the goddess living in my head?
Spoken like a knight. That's not what I would have expected.
Well, you know.
So that is the source of your hunger.
I fight for the day I won't have to fight anymore.
I suppose I must find my own. If we're to get along, I think not. I'll be content if you continue to train with me. Perhaps it will come to me as I swing my sword.
Alright, and explore the... Oh, that's right. This, of course, happens here as well. You guys mentioned something about how I need to get a shield or something so that he doesn't get wombo comboed by bow and arrow. Okay. So we've got a lot of these to get through, it looks like. I'll go ahead and explore the monastery this time and have another episode of Social Links next time. Kind of break it up a little bit.
Oh.
I think that's wise. Obviously, that will mean there's 3 episodes without combat, but, you know, I mean, a lot of this game is not just about combat, so deal with it.
I'm a graduate of the Golden Deer House, but that was a little before your time, Professor.
Is that why you wear yellow?
We won the Battle of the Eagle and Lion. Of course, we mostly have Holst to thank for that.
Who is Holst?
And now he's the greatest general in the Alliance. I didn't do so great in comparison.
Is Holst going to end up being the general I have to fight in the upcoming battle? Hey, Leone.
We might see Edelgard herself leading the enemy in the next battle.
I doubt it, because that would be the last battle of the game. And like I said, I don't think we're there
If
yet.
they're coming out of Fort Mercius, our troops might even clash on Gronder Field. And those other troops on the march. Who knows what they'll do, or what side they'll take.
Well, they'll probably go against... I mean, I guarantee you, if Dimitri is still alive, they're definitely gunning for Edelgard.
Not sure how we're supposed to form a strategy with so many unknowns.
We'll form it on the fly, like we always do.
Hey, how come you only ever flatter me in times like these? What am I supposed to make of that?
Well, I only flatter you in times I think you need it.
Anyway, we've come this far. Let's just keep putting one foot in front of the other and see how far we get.
And just to make sure I remember correctly, so... Yep, she is all the way to rank S. I do not need to invite her to T. I'm actually rank S with a lot of people. A lot being 3, but, you know. The other ones... Shamir is doing pathetic. It's a good thing I'm not trying to date Shamir in this playthrough. Because I would have a bad time of it.
The Great Bridge of Murden was considerably better fortified than it was 5 years ago.
What happened 5 years ago?
The bridge was full of soldiers, and they all died. And Ferdy was there. We killed Ferdy, Professor. He used to be our friend. Do you remember those days?
I do. I intentionally tried not to do it, but the battle would not end while he was alive. You're still helping me become a savant.
Professor. Maybe.
Oh, here comes something. Alright, who is up here?
Right.
I was thinking it'd be Hilda, because Hilda's always trying to give out quests.
Claude was saying that our next battle might be in Gronder Field. Is that right?
That is correct.
Reminds me of the Battle of the Eagle and Lion. But of course, that was a very different time.
Yeah, we weren't killing our friends.
When it was over, all 3 class heads complimented each other on their bravery. And then we had a party. But we can never go back to that, can we?
Unfortunately, that's the thing about time. It only goes in one direction.
Excuse me, could you do me a favor?
I was like, I better
Thanks
have
so
them.
much. You're a sweetheart. Professor!
Okay, and as always, we'll come in here. I need to get closer to Shamir. Like, again, I don't actually necessarily care if, you know, she's dateable, but I want to see her whole thing, and we're running out of time.
Cooking? I can handle that. What's the next step? It's easy if I have orders to follow.
For those of you that are curious, I'm probably going to... So, someone, when I was streaming, actually did somewhat spoil, although I'm not really upset about it, the fact that there's, like, 4 routes to take in this game. Obviously, the 3 houses, but then there is, in fact... Actually, it's ironic. I didn't realize there was a route you could take with the Black Eagles that didn't side with Edelgard. I thought the Black Eagle one would be Edelgard's side of the story, but they did say no. With the Black Eagles, you can either stay with the church or we'll go with Edelgard, so it actually splits in that path. So I'm aware of that, and so I'm probably going to have one playthrough where I get all the teachers and the knights and everything, and then a playthrough for each of the houses. So obviously the ones where I get all the individual knights and everything, I'll probably try and end up with Shamir, and then end up with someone from the houses on all the other playthroughs.
Sure.
Okay, well, I'm at max with Dorothea, so there's no reason to hang out with her.
This food is a revelation. I can't help but smile when I eat it.
Eating food always fires me up. Hoorah! Let's go fight somebody!
Okay, and then we also want to head up and have choir practice. I'll head this way and pick up the quest first, though. There are 2 quests. Oh, who are you?
Professor.
I definitely want to catch all you people.
Since Little Claude became their leader, the Alliance Lords haven't been especially unified.
Well, I mean, they barely accept him.
Now they're suddenly united for a common cause. As a result, the Empire hasn't been able to perform even one successful incursion.
I mean, we kicked them out of the area yesterday.
Rather, we're the ones who might get the jump on them. It's incredible. Magical, even. Maybe his strategic genius was simmering for those 5 years, and it returned to a full boil once you two were reunited. Or maybe he always knew he'd meet you again, and he was preparing for that this whole time.
I mean, didn't you just say the same thing 2 different ways?
Hey!
Hey, I could use a hand. Hey, I could use a hand.
That's it? That's all the quests? Wow, those quests suck.
Beyond the Great Bridge of Murden, it's all unfamiliar territory for us. We don't know where Lady Rhea's being held. We ought to investigate all potential locations thoroughly. The Knights of Seiros will handle the search. We'll report back if we learn anything.
Then go ahead and keep working on my swordsmanship.
Right.
Alright. So apparently there is the thing for the night in this direction. Because I see it on my map.
So, we're finally moving into enemy territory. We can expect the war to get even more intense from here on out.
Intense for them.
I'm really feeling the tension now. I have almost no experience with battles of this scale. Professor, I'll be grateful for your leadership on the battlefield. I know I can trust you.
I mean, realistically, you shouldn't trust anybody.
Really?
But yeah, I'm going to be a stand-up guy, because that's what I am. I don't sit down on the job. Open the gates! Thank you.
Hey, you. What?
Hey, me. Oh, it's still showing in... That's just north.
Maybe. Really?
I don't think that's actually showing me anywhere to go. Nope, it's not. That's just north. That's okay, I need to come up here anyway. So I do need, even though she's gonna hate it, Leonie needs this experience. As does Dorothy.
What's the point of singing practice? It's not going to make me stronger.
Gonna make you masterclass.
I'll keep my voice down.
Alright. We'll come down here. And actually, I miss talking to you. It's our favorite guy. We can't not talk to our favorite guy. I just didn't come this way at all.
Lady Rhea, I've got to keep this place clean, and I mean properly clean, every day. Dust it, sweep it, everything.
You are obsessed.
You never can tell when Lady Rhea might be back.
Hello there.
Oh, that's that I saw. I thought I saw something glimmering over here. I was coming to pick it up.
Lady Rhea.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. I hear we're sending troops to Gronder Field next. Is that what's what?
That's what's what.
That whole area is in the territory of House Burgleys. It's famous as the main granary of Fodlan. If we could capture it, we probably wouldn't have to worry about food anymore. Bread for all.
I love that guy. Who is this? There's someone I can talk... Okay, this merchant.
Since you secured the Great Bridge of Murden, trade got a lot easier within the Empire. Nevertheless, profits are rather thin compared to how it was 5 years ago. You can't be much of a trader unless you're prepared to traverse the whole of Fodlan.
There's an arcane crystal.
Reconnaissance is becoming more of a risk the deeper we move into enemy territory. If I don't come back, assume I'm dead.
Please come back?
Good. We have to be realistic.
Yeah, I figured that that's the answer she
Don't
would
waste your
want.
energy worrying about me. Thank you.
We just discussed the fact that I need to get my... What am I trying to say? My relationship with her up.
You called, so I came. Thank you.
We'll see if I can... I know I won't get the extra charm for this, but hopefully this will help our relationship. 'Cause I don't have a lot of time to get up to S rank.
Oh. Very good.
I was like, she will not want to talk about dating or fashion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very good.
She'll want to talk about equipment.
Yes. Very good.
Yep. She won't... She might have wanted the other one too, but...
Not bad. The Sword of the Creator. It's an interesting relic. Sure.
Fantastic.
Huh? Oh. Very good. Professor. Admiring my gloves? I always... That was delicious.
There goes that. Oh, weird? Okay. Swear this last time that didn't happen. You can't teach me anything I need to know, unfortunately. Actually, while I'm here... Secret shop. Because you guys did tell me, thankfully, that this is where I can get Master Seals. I'll buy 5 for right now. That costs a lot of money, but I need to be able to try these certifications without having to get all the way up to 100%. So the fact that I can get unlimited is certainly a benefit for me. Whoa, there's a wall there. Found a wall, guys.
Yeah, Edelgard's presence suggests that Hubert is around too. He is minister of the Imperial household, after all. He's been around Edelgard since they were children. I suppose he must be pretty happy with his current position.
Well, he used to be. He's going to be less happy now.
Thanks. I'm glad I asked you.
Alright. So that's everything I can do. I do need to have 2 more training sessions before we call it, but I do want to talk to everybody.
The Battle of the Eagle and Lion. Has it truly been 5 years since then? Can you recall whether it was before or after I joined your class, Professor?
Oh, it was definitely... Pretty sure it was before.
That is not at all the case, Professor. It was shortly after I joined your class. I remember
Well,
it
shit.
like it was yesterday.
Well, you weren't invited. I actually did have to stop. I'm like, I know I didn't use her.
Thanks to our victory, I've been able to study the Great Bridge of Murden at my leisure. And you know what? It's an astounding structure. So much history there. Imagine how much time and effort it must have taken to build something that big. Over water, no less. I hope that someday it will be opened up to the people of Fodlan. A historical site, rather than a military checkpoint.
Oh, I'm sure it will once we, strike down Edelgard and unite the people of Fodland under not her. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot that we had tournaments. Advanced Axe tournaments.
So the Boar Prince is dead. Decapitated, I hear. I haven't seen the severed head myself. Perhaps he's still alive and leading that army. Don't patronize me. If his head is still attached to his body, I'll remedy that without hesitation.
Why? He's not our enemy.
Either way, a major battle awaits us. Try not to die. I'd be annoyed if you did.
Like, as far as I know, Dimitri's an ally. If he's still around. Recommend level 36 or higher. Yeah, based on what happened last time with Shamir, those are not easy victories anymore. So I won't necessarily waste my time trying to get them. Lawrence is over here. Lawrence, why are you at the far other end of the hallway? Come on. Make me run all this way just to talk to you.
Something else. House Gloucester has changed its allegiance and joined the faction that is against the Empire. The Alliance will thus remain united. But thanks to this latest ploy, my father is more suspicious of Claude now than ever, if such a thing is possible.
Why?
Ordinarily, I might credit his helpful posture toward us to his devout faith in the Church of Seros. But it is clear to me now that this is nothing more than a shrewd calculation on his part. He is only thinking of his position. We are in the clear for now, but please bear in mind that the Alliance is never an entirely stable union.
We're gonna have to fight your dad at some point? I'd prefer not to. I'm an idiot. I was looking for Lysithea, even though she's not alive.
Each time we press forward, our search for Rhea broadens to a wider area. I certainly hope we will find at least some clue. But I do suspect I already know where she is. If I'm right, and she is in the Imperial capital, then we cannot save her until we topple the Empire.
Well, that's what we're aiming on doing. We're marching into the lion's mouth, so to speak. So where is... because there were two people here. Alright, there you are.
We secured the win in our first skirmish, but the next battle is a different matter.
Nope, we'll win that one too.
The Empire will come after us with everything it's got. Even so, the ultimate victory will be ours. And I'm not just saying that. I've made ample preparations to ensure our victory.
I am not surprised, Claude.
It's my rule to never leave victory to chance. You can't rely on the protection of the goddess. With your power and my schemes, I should be able to plot a direct course to victory.
Alright, and the last one. Back to Dorothea, because obviously I can't have Lysithea tutor me if she's not around.
The Great Bridge of Murden. The bridge was in Ferdy.
I already had her do that. I'd forgotten that.
Professor.
Well, in that case... Shamir, you can't teach me anything, but I'm out of options to do, and I'm not going to enter the Axe tournament for no real reason.
A moment, please.
No moments.
Don't waste your... Don't waste...
Alright, we are not quite yet time, so we'll go ahead and start on supports, even though we'll be doing this next episode. Because there's a lot of them.
Hey, got a minute?
Ah, Leone, are we to sharpen swords again?
No, I came to give you this handkerchief back. Sorry, I know I held on to it for a while.
I mean, it wasn't alone.
You lent me this. Remember?
I recall giving it to you.
I was going to say.
It is a noble's duty to give to the common folk. In return, the commoner need only pay respect.
That's nice. You left out the part where the nobles take all the stuff the regular folks make?
Yes, the common folk give the fruits of their labor, willingly, I might add, as a token of that respect. The head of Saan village offers his tribute in exactly that spirit, you know.
Saan? That's my village. You knew?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Of course. We granted exclusive hunting rights to Saan and forbade outsiders from poaching. In fact, when we received complaints about just that, we hired mercenaries to deal with the issue.
Is that why Geralt went to that village?
So that's what brought Gerald.
What was that?
Nothing. Look, just take the handkerchief. I'm returning something I borrowed from a friend.
Okay, her back just came down a little bit, which is good.
Very well. As your friend, I will accept it.
You know, I really wish you wouldn't think of nobles as always giving and commoners as only receiving. Friends help each other, without thinking about status. And that help goes both ways.
It certainly does, although now both of you are horse-riding friends.
Quite so. And when I require the aid of a friend, I assure you I will happily recognize it. But only with friends. In the main, I must continue to refuse assistance from the common folk. For a noble to accept would be disgraceful.
God dang it. Though I do see where he's coming from. I've said it before, I am impressed at how much they've made Lorenz a decent guy, despite the fact he's so head up his ass about being a noble.
Huh. I always thought he was just stuck up.
I did too, Leone.
Turns out, he just has this grand idea of nobility he's trying to live up to. Oh no! I didn't even give him the handkerchief!
And Catherine, rank B.
Your swordplay is captivating, exceedingly graceful, yet mindful to guard the weaknesses that often accompany such elegant flourishes.
Lawrence, are you spying on me? That's not very noble.
It's not really spying if you're in a public place.
It was rude of me to watch so long in silence, I do confess. Yet I could not bring myself to interrupt. I believe that such a deep grasp of swordplay can only mean that you have experienced the privilege of a noble birth.
Wow, are you about to step your foot in it?
You just don't let up. I didn't inherit my sword skills, Lawrence. I trained. I earned them.
One's lineage does not affect one's talent or tenacity, to be sure. But a noble is raised in an environment more conducive to the honing of martial skill. Those brought up in the lap of luxury are blessed with a far wider variety of options for their futures.
That is true. That's a little bit that frustrates me because recently, like right now, I'm or not right now, but the BlizzCon happened over this last weekend. I don't know if it's still going on or not. I don't think it is. I can never keep up because I wasn't watching. Sorry for like jumping back and forth, but one of the things that happens a lot when in any like esports tournament is that the Koreans and the Europeans tend to do better than North Americans. And one of the big reasons for that is that outside of Japan, America is the most overworked country, so Americans just have less leisure time to play games than Europeans do. Especially, and so whenever you get to, people in their 20s or, really just 20s. I guess you don't have a lot of pro gamers that are in their 30s. But whenever you've got that age of competitor, then yeah, the baseline skill is going to be higher for Europeans because they don't work as hard in a given week. And that's not to say Europeans are lazy, it's to say that Americans are too overworked.
And a noble raised in that fashion is better equipped to keep the peace for the common folk.
Sure. And besides keeping the peace, what are the nobility's other duties?
Matters of state for a start. A noble has the ability to declare war, for instance. A commoner does not. And a noble who carries the blessing of a crest has even more power. One move from such an individual can exert massive influence.
That was a trap you weren't supposed to answer.
Of course, such influence must only be wielded with discretion. It is a noble's duty to use power wisely.
Whether or not it's their duty, if they don't use their power wisely, the people will revolt.
Indeed. The motivation to revolt can only come from discontent with the nobility. But if the people are well protected and enjoy peaceful and happy lives, there is no such motive. Thus, if such a revolt does occur, the nobility must be held accountable.
That's a very interesting way of looking at it. Historically not common. because what was really, really interesting, because generally speaking, it's like rising up against government is just illegal, period. It's never the fault of the ruling power. But I remember in Japan, it was actually said that if a corrupt emperor, God will like stir rebellion in the hearts of the people, and they will rise up. And if the rebellion is successful, it was condoned by God. But if the rebellion is put down, then it was not condoned by God.
The nobility must be held accountable, I never thought I'd find myself agreeing with you. Maybe you're not as bad as I thought.
That's what everyone's coming to realize about Lawrence.
In fact, I'll let you in on a secret. I am from a noble family, House Karen of Fargus. I used to be known as Cassandra Rubens Karen. Perhaps you've heard that name before?
I certainly haven't.
House Karen? It cannot be. Are you the one who was driven from Fargus for some grave crime?
So people say. However, I didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, how do you rate me now? On one hand, I am a noble, but I'm also a fugitive.
I see. Well then.
I wonder if that's true or she's throwing that out.
Will you do me the honor of a bout?
Really?
So you'd like to suss me out with your sword? Sure, I'll take you on.
Well, if this is a real bout, Lawrence loses hard, because he is not a swordsman. Alright, last one for this episode.
Like I'm drowning in responsibilities. Claude, take my mind off it all. Regale me with another of your weird childhood stories.
Okay, then. How about an old story from a foreign land that my dad told me when I was a kid? Once upon a time, there was a white camel that got separated from his herd.
Claude does know a lot of stories, man. That's why I like him, because my dad also knew a lot of stories, and most of them weren't true. No, tell the story!
I'm so happy for that white camel. I really thought he was gonna die.
Was that story really worth bawling your eyes out over?
I don't know, you didn't tell it!
It was wonderful. Don't you know how moving that story is?
No, tell it to me!
You know, I never thought much of it until today. But seeing you bawling like that, I do appreciate it a little more now.
What's that mean?
Well, you're always fake crying, aren't you? Getting all misty-eyed to make people think you're a delicate flower.
Oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it, yeah.
What? You're awful. I only cry when I'm sad.
Claim what you like, but I can spot real tears from fake tears any day of the week. Fess up.
If you understand me so well, maybe it's because you're no different.
How's that?
When you smile or laugh, it's not sincere. I can tell.
I mean, there are some times that he's given sincere smiles.
I've only seen you genuinely smile
Yep.
a handful of times.
I was just thinking the same
like
thing.
when you're talking to the professor.
Wow, good one, Hilda. You hit me right in the gut. I guess you're right. I'm not so different from you in that way. But how did you come to realize that? Have you been watching me that closely?
I'm afraid so. My eyes seem to wander toward you of their own accord.
Both of these guys are just like lying between their lips at each other. I love it.
Hold on. Forget I said that. I didn't say that.
Nope, no can do. Forgetting isn't something this crafty brain of mine is capable of. Besides, my eyes have a tendency to wander in your direction too. How else do you think I found out about your fake crying?
Wow, courtship begun on mutual distrust.
Huh? What are you getting at?
Say, Hilda, once everything's settled down, do you want to come meet my parents?
Really?
I mean, don't get the wrong idea, you just seem interested in my family. Besides, you've opened up to me quite a bit, but I still haven't let you in on my own secrets. If you meet my parents, I think you'll understand, though it might come as a bit of a surprise.
Your family? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious.
Well, yeah, they lead the Alliance. Everyone kind of wants to meet them in non-official terms.
Well then, if neither of us changes our minds before the opportunity presents itself, let's agree to go visit my home together.
Although, if it's a long journey, my brother might not be too happy.
He can come too.
True, that might be a tough nut to crack. As tough as Fodlan's locket.
Alright, and with that we'll go ahead and end this episode. Tune in next time when we go through the rest of these guys. and start making our way towards the battle, because it doesn't look like there's any quest battles to do, so we're just gonna, seminar our way to the end of the month. Look forward to that, please and thank you.